My brother freaked out saying it was a prank. Prank, I just took your inhaler, guys. Prank, I just killed him, guys. Ha ha ha. You'd be a great YouTuber. Jesus Christ, cousin. Am I the a-hole for imposing my culture even though I thought I was just being nice? Okay, which culture are we talking? Even though I, a 23-year-old female, am American. Okay, American culture. My parents are immigrants, and therefore I have a different cultural upbringing than most. Oh, is this gonna be some racist stuff? Okay. One thing that was hammered into my head from a young age was to always bring a small gift when visiting anyone's house. It doesn't really matter if it's family or friends or that one person you kind of know but don't really like, bringing something is a must. My boyfriend, 28-year-old male, and I have been dating for almost 4 years now, and since we both work from home, he suggested we make dinner with his parents a weekly thing since we haven't been able to see each other much for obvious reasons. I love his parents, so obviously I agreed. Every week, I made sure to bring something small to show my appreciation for them cooking for us, always using my own money, a small bottle of wine, their favorite dessert, some flowers. Okay, pretty thoughtful, and they always thanked me for it. This has been going on for a few months, and I absolutely didn't notice anything out of the ordinary until yesterday when my boyfriend and I were pretending to head over. I got a cute vase of daffodils since luckily I'd found some in bloom and my boyfriend's mom really loves them. But my boyfriend suddenly got really mad and asked why I kept bringing stuff over every week like his parents were a charity case. How would you possibly get that interpretation? This is why I wouldn't bring gifts in the first place, because I know people somehow misinterpret it in some way. They'll first look into your gift, right? You bring them flour, they'll be like, huh, does my house not have any flowers? You bring them wine, like, what, am I a drunker or something? Like, people brain always on overdrive, okay? It's not that deep, really. Honestly, I got super confused and asked him what the problem was, and that I've always done this with everyone, including his friends, since we met. That it was a cultural thing, but he got even madder and told me to stop imposing my culture on everyone, and it's weird since I'm white. What? What? Imposing your culture is very different from bringing someone a damn gift, okay? That's barely culture, right? That's just a random... that's not even a white people culture thing, is it? That's just a thing that you do, isn't it? At this point, I didn't feel like going anywhere with him and just gave him the flowers and went for a walk while he drove over to dinner by himself. Isn't bringing gifts a Chinese culture thing? Like, okay, whatever. After he came home, he still had the flowers which he gave to me and told me he was sorry, but his parents were really super annoyed with me, constantly bringing stuff over, like they can't take care of themselves. And later, I got a text from his dad asking me to not come over for dinner anymore. Okay, so the parents were getting like secretly annoyed about this stuff, and from the story, they literally said that they thanked you every time. Was that just out of niceness? Like, if they're bottling up in their heads, it's literally their problem. And from the gifts that you described, a small bottle of wine, their favorite dessert, some flowers, they're not like insensitive gifts. Like, you're not bringing them like a weight scale, right? So I don't know why they get so mad about it. Now my boyfriend's giving me the cold shoulder unless I give his parents a huge apology, but I really truly don't feel like I'm in the wrong for trying to be nice to them. Am I the a-hole? Some situations in life, even though you didn't do anything wrong, you have to apologize, okay? Just to keep the peace, just to you know, not be in constant conflict. Some people are just dumb, okay? Some people just, you know, a little idiotic, okay? And you gotta be the bigger man or the bigger woman or bigger whoever in your case and apologize, all right? Now the thing is, it's your boyfriend, it's his parents, okay? Listen, I personally wouldn't apologize because, you know, I'm got a big ego, but you should probably apologize. Just saying, just because to keep the peace. I mean, you want to be with your boyfriend, and I don't know, if you were constantly visiting them and it was like a regular thing, I don't know. How are you gonna change their minds, bro? Parents are always like boomers or something. I don't know. But yeah, are you the a-hole? No, absolutely not. Okay, they're clearly building up a situation in their head. They never confronted you about it and just went this other route after like building it up in their head for so long, and they're like, oh, suddenly I just don't like gifts anymore, and yeah, what am I, poor? Like, this is dumb as hell. Get me out. Am I the a-hole for taking off my leg and making someone look dumb and feel uncomfortable? Taking off my leg? What is this story? All right, we got I, 21-year-old female, was in a very bad car accident about 3 years ago. A drunk driver ran a stoplight, cut off a semi-truck, and then crashed into me, sending me crashing into 2 different cars and then ultimately into an embankment. My car was mangled and my leg was crushed, completely destroyed. It had to be amputated. Oh boy. I also lost a couple of fingers, the tip of one and all of another. I'm also left with some gnarly scars that used to bother me, but I'm learning to deal with them. I got a couple different insurance payouts and some pain and suffering money, in addition to my medical bills being paid. With my money, I purchased a custom-made leg to take the place of the one I lost. Okay, now you can take off your leg. Got it. When I have pants and shoes, you can hardly tell unless you're really looking. I still limp, but some days I don't have as pronounced a limp. Earlier today, I went to the store with my boyfriend, my sister, my girlfriend, and our mother. I drove. I had to learn to drive with my left foot, but I'm really good at it now. I also bought a new car with my money, and I had to go through a ton of therapy to get past my PTSD, but I'm doing well over there now. So I drove us, and because of our injuries, in addition to my leg, I also have chronic hip, neck, and back pain. Okay, this is depressing now. And some issues with my lungs from the time spent intubated in a medically induced coma that led to pneumonia. My god, you just have every problem under the book. I have a handicap card for my car. I have trouble walking without getting tired, so it really helps to park close to the door. Today I did so and unknowingly took the space from someone who was circling back around for it. Apparently the man had been looking for a closed space and had missed the one I took and went down and around. He was still in the other aisle when I pulled in, so I didn't cut him off or anything and had no way of knowing he wanted the spot. He parked in the yellow stripe zone and got out and immediately began confronting me about stealing a place from people who actually need it. Oh boy. How I'm just some kid who has no respect for those who are truly sick and suffering. Oh boy, how wrong you are. I mean, they can't see anything from the outside, I guess. He then ordered me to move. My group was urging me to just walk away, but this has happened before, and once the police were even called. I'm sick of people thinking that just because I'm young, and I don't have a legit need for an extra consideration, I said okay and went to the car and got in like I was going to drive off. I was wearing a skirt and leggings, so it wasn't quite obvious at first, but when I sat down, I took my leg off and showed it to the man, including my stump. I then asked him if it was okay if I still parked there. He walked away, calling me disgusting and rude, and said I could have just told him, and I made him look stupid. Okay, I mean, that was just their way of showing you, because they were kind of annoyed that you assumed. I mean, if you see a normal person, I mean, you're just gonna assume that, I guess. But in the first place, they didn't even know that you wanted the spot, right? So. Okay. My group was embarrassed and said that I made things awkward because there was a crowd. Am I the a-hole? Listen, okay, you could have told him in a nicer way, obviously. And, why, like, is he gonna get traumatized because you took off your damn leg or something? No. So I don't really see the big deal. Are you the a-hole? In my opinion, no. Okay. That you were pissed off and you're like, you've been through enough. Okay. I think you can do that. Okay. You're allowed to take off your damn leg. Okay. That's my opinion. This guy calling you disgusting and rude, you're disgusting and rude for assuming that this person didn't need the spot, okay? Shut the hell up. Shut the goddamn hell up. Okay, it was a maybe honest misunderstanding, right? You couldn't see the problem, obviously, because it's covered by the pants. But still, this is not a good response to anyone, okay? Shut the hell up. Moving on. Am I the a-hole for calling my sister a bad and selfish person because she refused to look after my son for just a few hours? I mean, from the title, she does seem like a bad selfish person. Okay, let's see. Let's see the contact. Me, 29-year-old male, wife, 27-year-old female, and I welcomed our first child into the world about 10 months ago. His paternal grandparents, my parents, live several states away, but he has 2 maternal aunts and uncles, their husbands, by marriage as well as a set of maternal grandparents. He also has my sister, 26-year-old female, as an aunt. My sister is a bit of a rebel who swears that she'll never get married or have kids, and who claims to not even like kids. Well, I guess I'm a rebel, cause, probably me. When my son was born, though, I remember my sister coming to visit him in the hospital, which actually somewhat surprised me. But then she saw her nephew and she said, I don't like kids, but he's so cute that he's an exception. He's officially my favorite kid on the planet. Don't ever ask me to babysit, though. I don't like kids either. I understand. I totally understand. Well, I never would have dreamed of asking her, since he had two willing grandparents as well as two willing aunts. However, recently the perfect storm happened. My wife works in a jail and as such is considered an essential employee. In other words, they can order her into work if they're short, and she doesn't have a right to refuse no matter what is happening. It honestly doesn't come up very often at all, but when it does, it does. Meanwhile, I work as a kitchen manager or a head chef at an event hall. I had a huge event I absolutely couldn't miss on a day in the last week, which just so happened that my wife got ordered into work. Our contingency plan, just in case just that sort of thing should happen to occur, blah blah blah. However, they just happened to be all out of town together that day, so I had no choice but to ask my sister just to watch my nephew for a few hours until one of us were able to get away from our jobs. But she refused. As she said before, don't ever ask me to babysit though. I begged and pleaded with her, but she just wouldn't do it, reminding us both that she told us that she would never babysit and that our emergency wasn't her problem. True. Absolutely true. Finally, my wife ended up having to tell her employer, well, I just can't come in. Do you do what you have to in terms of discipline, which ended her with receiving a written reprimand. I ended up going off on our sister, telling her that she was selfish, immoral, etc. My sister said, I don't owe you or your wife anything just because we're related, but I told her that this was a horrible attitude, that she'd have a better sense of loyalty to her family just because that's the right thing to do, whether she'd ever agreed to do anything or not. Am I the a-hole? Let me just say, if I was your sister and you asked me to babysit your kid, I would say no too. In fact, I would be here making this YouTube video instead of babysitting your kid. Do I give a shit? No, okay? I'm sorry. If I said in the past that I'm not gonna do it, why would I change my mind? I don't care if it's your emergency, your problem, bro. Like, unless you're someone I really care about, I'm not gonna help you. And clearly, your sister does not care about you, so it's her choice. So, are you the a-hole? Yes, I would say you're the a-hole, okay? You can't call her selfish and immoral when she literally told you beforehand that she wouldn't do it. If she told you beforehand that she would do it and now changed it, then you're not the a-hole. But, bro, she literally said something and then she did exactly what she said, and you're mad. That's just my opinion, okay? Let me know what you guys think. I mean, it is only a couple of hours, and she did like this kid, so I don't know, maybe she could have babysitted the kid or whatever, but personally, I wouldn't do it, okay? I gotta make my videos, baby, alright? More important, alright? That smash like, always dedicated to the grind, baby.